Trying on this. Yeah, it's not going to be quite as lovely as it was before, but it's the only way I can get this guy out. I encourage you to disconnect your battery. I mean, look, it's maybe 5 extra minutes, and it's going to keep your alternator cables from becoming little welding cables, so just do it. It didn't take very long to verify independently that you cannot get to the bolt that holds on the first fuel filter without moving the alternator out of the way. Here's the can that we're gonna get off. This is the drain cock that opens counterclockwise, so you turn it as if you're undoing a bolt, but it works its way up towards the can. But that's how you drain it before you take it off. What we're going to do now is get this alternator loose so that we can swing it out of the way so we can get to the part that we actually want to do. If you don't have any gear wrenches, I recommend getting a set of them. They are better for many things than sockets and ratchets and plain old wrenches. If you don't know what we're looking at, we're under the truck. We're looking up at the radiator and then kind of zooming in. And what I'd like to show is that the alternator actually has 3 mounting bolts, and lo and behold, there's one of them. My job now is to loosen that guy up because the third one, the one in the rear on the bottom, was missing, but the front one at the moment is completely holding the alternator and keeping it from moving. You know what I wish I had right now was a helper to hold that wrench on there, and I may be going and finding myself a helper pretty quick here. Okay. Go. Goodbye, belts. Removing the last bolt. There's a good old fine threaded bolt. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Yep. Okay. Fuel filter unveiled. That is a 1-inch bolt head. That's a 1-inch bolt head right there. Okay, so counterclockwise. Here comes the fuel. It's kind of funny because I did this before. I guess that's why only some is coming out. But okay, so we're all the way open. Here comes some fuel. Start kicking it off. Oh, here comes the fuel now. Okay, the can's wanting to spin, so I've got to hold the can with my fingers and undo the bolt from the top. I believe everything can be done by hand now. Okay. I'm holding the can so it doesn't drop. I'm doing that bolt. Here we go. Ah, we're free. Okay, there's the bolt. I've just sat here and held it while it drained. It was not a period of seconds, it was a period of minutes. Yes, it was about 3 minutes to drain. And now I think that I can bring the can up. I think I can bring it right up behind this alternator so I don't have to drop it. I hope everybody can see this. Okay. Here's the fuel filter. And there's the rest of what's in that can. As far as I know, the filters are identical, top and bottom. It's not too bad in there. There's some junk in there, but not a whole lot. I actually expected to see more. Okay, so comes a little thin dude, and there's a spring underneath that, and a washer underneath that. Okay, so reassembly will be washer, spring, and then the little brass cap. And I've got some junk in there that I'm gonna go wash out with gasoline. I have secured myself a Luber-finer 261F. Cheapest filter on eBay. Woohoo! When it comes to wiper blades and apparently fuel filters, my philosophy is go cheap, but do it often. Okay, so what we have here is a nice new, good looking fuel filter with no apparent top or bottom. That's gonna go on next. Now we need to worry about gaskets. Did I do it? I did it. That's the thinner of the two gaskets that came with the new fuel filter. That looks good. I think we have it nice and clean now. Here's the thinner new gasket that came with my fuel filter, and I'm going to stick it up in there now. Okay, I'm taking that thin gasket, and yeah, it looks like he's going to fit really nice up in there. Will he stay? I don't know. We'll see. Yes, he will stay on his own. I'm just going to take my screwdriver and kind of position it all the way up in there, because I don't want any trouble. I'm going to try to clean off this area, because I don't want any junk in here anywhere. I'm going to wipe off this bolt. There's some washer. I might have to reuse it. I do not think my filter came with a new one. And I'll just wipe that surface off really good. I don't know if I overdo being clean or not, but I know I feel better when I have made everything as clean as I possibly can. I am putting the washer back on my little female bolt. I'm sticking the whole thing down in here. I'm gonna take my little assembly. I'm gonna drop it down right through here. And I'm gonna slide my hands around. I'm gonna bring that can up. I kind of feel sorry for the army mechanics that had to do this all the time. It's really not that easy. Okay, I'm getting some resistance right here, so I'm gonna just go ahead and try to start that bolt. Okay. I can push the can straight up. It takes the pressure off of everything. It makes the can sit nice and centered in there. And I can spin that bolt. I'm spinning it. I've spun it all the way till it's finger tight. Hold the can with one hand, tighten it with the other. Now I'm watching the can. That feels good. I'm not over tightening it. I have not tightened it nearly as tight as I could, but I guarantee you any problems with the space between the can and the gasket are eliminated. It's tight. Found myself a new bolt to use, put a little anti-seize on the threads, cleaned up the bolt that I took off before, put a little anti-seize on the threads. The plan now is to wrestle that alternator back into place. The plan is to put the bolts like this. We'll see how it works. This is one of those things that, you know, sometimes you need to be on top, sometimes you need to be on bottom. It might be a little easier to get to if I had this side door down on the engine compartment, but you know, to do that, I've got to take more stuff loose, and I don't want to, so I'm just gonna wrestle this thing back into position now. First thing I need to do is get this bar up and out of the way. It's not going to do anybody any good down there. Next thing I need to do is get the belts on. Okay. Oh, I think I got it. I got it. There we go. Okay, front and rear bolts are in. This is me putting the nut on the back one. Okay, finger tight. Bring that top bar down hopefully one last time. The bar has a little bit of flexibility. I highly recommend having help. I don't know how I was going to keep it tense without a helper. So I'm just tightening this nut nice and firm. Okay. I basically just have to leave that wrench. Things are really tightening up now. I think I'm on it. The only thing that makes this hard is the wires. Everything's 5/8. It's 5/8 nut on a 5/8 bolt. So the only thing that was not 5/8 was the top bolt, which was 9/16 on both ends. Let's get this battery hooked back up. This massive ratchet is way overkill, but it's what I have. Let's just make sure that we got this right. Counterclockwise, drain, okay? Clockwise, don't drain. Finger tight might be good enough, but I'm just going to put a little bit of extra twist. Okay, now I believe I'm done with this filter change.